If you like what you see, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, and if you want to know when a new video comes up, turn on your notifications. Hey everyone, welcome to Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels. Recently I took a trip down to Wairarapa, and along the way I went to a whole lot of different places that I hadn't been before. So this is a compilation video of all of those places. I hope you enjoy it. Hey everyone, welcome back to Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels, or welcome to it if you're a new viewer. My name's Jude, and as you can see, I'm in another absolutely stunning spot. Stick around and I'll show you where I am. Ocean Beach is on the Wairarapa side of the Rumataka Ranges, outside of Featherston. It's about 20 minutes down the track, and as you can see, it is an absolutely stunning spot. Kept taking sunset photos the whole time I was there. According to one of the locals that I spoke to, this land right along the beach here is all Department of Conservation land. There's no sign saying you can't park there, couldn't find anything that said you couldn't. I talked to one of the locals and he said that DOC have been trying to get rid of the abattoirs off this stretch of land for quite some time, but they're all council consented, so there's not much they can do about it. The batch owners have all got together as a group and hired some lawyers, and they are fighting it every step of the way. Good on them. The local also told me that this whole area was absolutely full of campers over Christmas, more than he's ever seen in his lifetime. Sometimes in New Zealand it's just easier to get to the nearest town by driving on the beach. So there's the truck way down there. I've just come for a bit of a tiki tour up the road. A couple of streams coming out there. One there, right through the road. And according to the guy I spoke to, there's a DOC camp way down the end of that road. So I'm going to go for a bike ride tomorrow and have a look. I went on that bike ride the next day, and this sign here you'll find quite funny because as you can see, the whole road is just one great big bump. I found the DOC camp and it was pretty disappointing, I've got to say. A few people I met on the bike trail who were heading round towards Wellington. And after a while the road started getting just a little bit hard for my bike, which is a road bike, remember. And here's a sunset to just finish it off with. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon. Welcome back to Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels. This week's episode we're in Morrison's bush. It's about 10 minutes either way towards Martinborough or Greytown, which is in the Wairarapa in the lower North Island. This is a private campground where you can stay for the princely sum of $5 per person per night. There are absolutely no facilities available here other than this amazing scenery and a gorgeous river to go swimming in. So you need to bring everything with you and take everything away again when you leave. This is the little spot I had for my morning tea when I arrived here on my first day. And as you can see, it's pretty stunning and the bird life is amazing. Just down the hill from where I was camped, this is the riverbed. And as you can see, there's quite a few day trippers here to make the most of this gorgeous spot. That water was so warm you just wouldn't believe it. What a stunning spot. Lots of people just tucked in underneath the trees. Some of them out in the sun. This seemed to be the main camping area, which was to the left of where I was camped. I'm just going to leave you with this montage of photos that I just couldn't stop taking while I was there. It was just a stunning spot, and I hope you can hear the birdsong playing in the background. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon. Hey everyone, welcome back to Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels. This week we are in Bucks Road campsite, which is a Department of Conservation site. Bit of gravel road to get in, but it's only about 10 minutes outside of Featherston. It's not as pretty as some of the other sites I've stayed at. Did have cell phone access. I'm wondering if because it was a free Department of Conservation site that you didn't have to pay to stay here, they don't spend as much money on the upkeep. Just wonder about that myself. So that's the main camping area there. There's a few little side pockets that you can camp in as well. Just looking out over the farmland. So down to the right hand side of the toilet there is where you can go down to the river. That's a shot of the river from the campsite. This is the trail down to the river. It's not very far to go. Only took me about 5 minutes to walk down there. A few steps. Nothing too horrendous though. Quite a pretty little walk. And of course when you get to the bottom there's a gorgeous swimming hole, which is quite popular with the locals. Bit of stone sculpture going on over there. A few cliffs around it, so it's quite sheltered. The beautiful sound of the running water. So at the other side of the camp there's another little walkway. Must be for anglers. Goes on for a fair bit longer than the other one. Lots of blackberries. They're coming into season soon. So this is at the foot of the Tararua Ranges again. Lovely native bush full of kānaka and kawakawa. Kawakawa is a plant that's I'm pretty sure indigenous to New Zealand and can be made into balms and things, natural healing remedies. And of course you have to have a bit of a sunset going on, don't you? I only stayed here for a couple of nights because there wasn't a lot to keep me interested in this. Cell phone access was a bit dodgy. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon. Hey guys, welcome back to Zoo's Tiny House Truck Travels. Today I'm going to show you around a beautiful Department of Conservation site called Kiriwhakapapa. It's in the Wairarapa underneath the Tararua Ranges, and it's just an absolutely beautiful place to camp. So this is the roadway in. That's the end of the road there, where you can go on lots of really cool walks. And the campground itself. There's a few more spots all tucked away, I'll show you them. So this is the one where I'm parked up. It's immediately to your right as you come in. That car's been there since yesterday, so I think he's gone on an overnight trek. So this area here is basically the car park. More people been here overnight. Gone for an overnight trek. It's the road out. Very old public toilets there. And another beautiful camping spot. You can hear in the background the river. And another little spot through there that I'll show you too. And this is the other camping spot. Those noises you can hear in the background are some kids down at the river throwing rocks in. Good clean fun. Got a bit dusty on that road in, cleaned it, and then got a beautiful view like that out my back window. It's really hard to give you a sense of how peaceful and gorgeous this place is. Definitely well worth the gravel road I had to drive down to get here. Look at the size of this bugger. Stunning. Still following that stream down. Came across this amazing guy. Don't know why, but trees are always guys. Wow. That's the way I've just come from. I think I'll take the 50-minute walk rather than the hour and a half. Oh, 2 hours. These huge trees are just everywhere in here. This walk's going to take way longer than an hour if I keep stopping to do this all the time. I just love the sound of running water. When it comes with beautiful scenery like this, it's even better. So what they do in our national forests is when a tree falls down, unless it's actually covering a track, they just leave it alone. Oh no, here we go, starting to go uphill. I'm not very good on hills. No more videos, because all you'll hear is me going as I try and get up the hills. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon. Hello everyone, welcome back to Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels. Today I'm in a lovely riverside spot called Mangatainoka. I hope you enjoy my little tour around this beautiful spot. This lovely little riverside spot right next to the Mangatainoka River is about 15 minutes out of Woodville. It's on the main highway going through to the Wairarapa, where I'm hoping to spend a few days. It's very popular with people on camper vans, as you can see. It's a good fishing river, I'm presuming, because I can see fishermen coming along every now and again, and it's a good stopover point. Very busy state highway there, but it's not too noisy. You've got the lovely sound of the river behind us and the Tui brewery across the road. Parked up next to me when I arrived was this very huge bus with all its amazing pop-outs. It left the day after I arrived, but next time somebody tells me my rig's big, I'm going to show them this video. While I was at the reserve, I took the time to update the sign on the back of my truck so more people can find me on YouTube. Then I went for a walk underneath the bridge across to the Tui brewery, and I was going to have a tour and show you around, but it's no longer a functioning brewery, so I didn't bother going for a tour. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon. Welcome back to Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels. Today I'm featuring a stopover I made in Masterton. Showgrounds is an AMP, which stands for Agricultural and Pastoral Association. And I'm pretty sure that this is only available to people who belong to the NZMCA, which is a club I belong to. Not 100% sure about that. So they've got lots of grounds, and for the princely sum of $5 a night, not quite as good as some of the views that I've had in the past, but had a few jobs I needed to get done, and it was proving very popular with lots of other members of the association. So this is where you sign in, and there's another little camping spot over there as well. There are honestly camper vans and caravans tucked all over this place. Another amazing tree. I have this thing about taking photos and videos of trees. Thought you'd like this one. Inside the registration hut, they've got laundry facilities. So for $4, I did a lovely great big pile of laundry. You can swap a book. And here's a few photos of other places around the showgrounds. That's the main arena. Lots of spaces to park, but the trees on the roadways were a problem with the height of my vehicle. One of the jobs I had to do while I was here was put a front basket on the bike that I bought to replace the one that got stolen, and a back carrier. I use my bike to do lots of trips into town for grocery shopping, and on one such trip I found this amazing native reserve, 5.5 hectares of love and devotion from these people that have put this all together. It was just bare land before they came and did all of this to it. Not very well signposted, it was pretty easy to get lost. Isn't that pretty? And thank God there's a board to tell me where the hell I am, because I'm lost. I think they're waiting for a feed. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel, because there'll be more up soon. You're back. Yay, I'm back. Here we are, Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels. Here's me trying to personalise the channel a bit more by putting more of an intro from me. I'm going to put a bit of a personal plea on the beginning of this video. I don't know if you know how YouTube works as far as making some money out of our channels. If we get to 1,000 subscribers and we have enough people watching the channel, then we can do what's called monetize the channel. I won't make a lot of money out of it. It's probably just enough to keep me going. As those of you who have watched the On the Couch session with my son Brody, you'll know that I have income from a rental house, but it's not quite enough to continue this lifestyle. So if you want to continue seeing the videos, I really hope that when you see one you really like, would you please share it far and wide, and hopefully the more people that get to see it, the better it will be. Now I want you to excuse some of the funny sounds you might hear through this video because I am parked up next to a very noisy lady who is having a lot of fun next door with her friends. Good on her, but makes it hard to make a video. It's also a very windy day, so you can hear my broken chimney going bang bang in the background. Sorry about that. Anyway, onwards to the video. We are in the Southern Wairarapa today. Oh, I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Today's beautiful spot is in South Wairarapa, and it's about 15 minutes out of Featherston, heading south. It's a Department of Conservation area where you can camp, but you must be in a camp van, self-contained camper van. Actually, no, it doesn't need to be self-contained because there are toilets there. So it's a lovely bush setting on a working farm, so dogs are restricted. Lots of beautiful trees to set up under. As you can see, it was an absolutely gorgeous day when I was there. Cell phone access, not a lot, but enough. There are a lot of kiriwhakapapa, which are a wood pigeon in New Zealand. and they were flying all through the trees, and they've got a very distinctive woof, 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 woof sound. Oh, and there was my spot under the trees where I had my cup of coffee. So up over those steps and you go down a little walkway. It's not a huge walkway, it's just a little one. Beautiful trees. Lots of beautiful trees in this particular spot. So after about 5 minutes walk, the track ends here at the river. You can go down that river, follow the river along and up into the Tararua Ranges, and there's a hut up there for you to stay at for those energetic people. Lots of really cool trees, and you know me, I'm always one for taking shots of trees. This had a really interesting trunk on it. Huge old man pine. Don't know if you get these anywhere else, but in New Zealand we've got a lot of them on our farms. I get lots of lovely pine cones from those. So in amongst all the trees there were lots that had little signposts on them telling you what they were. Just a few pretty shots to end off the video. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon. It's getting close to Christmas, so I'm travelling back to my family in Palmerston to spend some time with them. The place I'm stopped over for a few days is just out of Woodville. It's called Ferry Reserve, and it's a freedom camping spot, so it costs nothing and there are no time limits, which is not usual for a place like this in New Zealand. There's lots to see and do around this area, so as I spend a few days here I shall take some videos and show you around. So here's a bit of a panoramic shot of where I'm parked up. You see these great big cliffs here. The river's just down there. You can hear it. Lots of people come down here to walk their dogs. There's a big bus over in the distance there. He's been here for quite a long time. Go further down there, there's public toilets. Lovely little walk through there. And that's the bridge to the road that's now closed in the Manawatu Gorge. Person sleeping in their car. And there we are. So this is a bit further up the road. Really cool information panels letting you know about the area. There's a public barbecue here. Toilets in behind there. And as you can see, there's quite a few people setting up camping. Because it's a free area, you get lots of families coming out here year in, year out to camp with their families. So this is the Manawatu River that I'm parked right up next to. It goes through the gorge, what's called the Manawatu Gorge. We used to be able to drive through, but you cannot any longer, because unfortunately there was a huge slip and they had to close the road, so now you have to go up and over. Here's the view from the bridge, because of course I ignored all those stop signs and kept going anyway on my bike to have a good look, because I just love going to places I'm not supposed to go. The road's degrading quite badly, as you can see. Lots of weeds coming up through, but it's absolutely stunning along there. This is as far as you could go if you were in a car. That's the big slip that basically took out the road. And if you go down the other way towards Woodville, you come across this beautiful, serene and peaceful cemetery. There's another road just to the left that you can go over. Beautiful view of the campground there. And you can come to this wonderful Department of Conservation Scenic Reserve that you can have a lovely walk through. It goes for quite a way up and over the hills, but I just did the first part of it and thought I'd share it with you. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon. Hey everyone, welcome to Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels. I'm lucky enough to live in the beautiful country of New Zealand, which I travel around in the purpose-built tiny house that I got built on the back of a truck. Come and have a look. I'm lucky enough to stay in some beautiful places because I live in such a beautiful country. This is New Zealand. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon. Welcome back to Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels. Today I'm having a look at some of the artwork that I've got in my house. The first one I'm featuring is the one right behind me here. You can see it's lovely and bright. So that's just a sarong mounted on polystyrene, and I did that one myself because sometimes I can be clever like that. These three pieces of artwork are beside my French doors and between them and the kitchen. So the middle one is by an artist in an art school in Bali, and all the proceeds that go from sales go back into the art school because they don't get funded by the government. So this one up here and the other one down the bottom were painted by a lovely lady called Laura in Waipakaro, who I used to teach with. Of course, my Christmas tree made from found things on the beach. The latest acquisition bought from a little tiny wee art gallery in Tokomaru Bay on the east coast of New Zealand. I'm not sure who the artist is, I didn't get to meet them, but there's their moniker there. I can't read it, can you? Above that is, well, this is just a bit of adult colouring book work that I did while we were in lockdown and I was practicing to make something else, and I couldn't bear to throw them away. Next to that is a piece of artwork done by a true professional. This is a guy called Manu who is here in New Zealand. Look at the detail on that photo. Well, it's not a photo, sorry, it's a piece of artwork. Next to that, beside my lovely little flick fireplace that keeps me so warm and is now a Christmas tree, we've got a bit of ethnic art that came from Bali. My son bought that for me when he was over there last. Another piece of my son's art this time, and that one was from the Bali art school as well. And this one here was painted by one of my ex-parents in Whanganui, her name is Tallulah. This guy's called Stoney. Found him on a beach somewhere, not quite sure where. Been looking for a frame to put him in ever since. And this is what we ended up with. He's on the wall just by the stove. Behind the splashback here, I've got this adult colouring that I did during lockdown. Wanted it because of the colours. And this is a gorgeous piece of artwork that was given to me by my in-laws, the Haggertys down in Christchurch, as a housewarming present. Next to them on the wall, the only pets that I have these days, beautiful little cat pictures that I found in a second-hand shop somewhere. Cost me $3. And last but not least, of course, my mum gave me this a long time ago because that is so indicative of my lifestyle. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon. Welcome back to Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels. Last night I was trolling through the comments on the Living Big in a Tiny House site that featured my truck not so long ago. And I read all those comments, and I really do enjoy reading some of them. But one comment that somebody made really made me stop and think. They thought the whole thing was fake. And that really interested me because I live in this lifestyle and my lifestyle's not fake. So I thought I'd show you all how I shut my tiny house down for travel, because that was what he said, that there was nothing out that it looked too bare for somebody to actually be living in. So this is how I shut my tiny house down when I'm about to travel. The first thing I do is I go into the bathroom. So I start from one end and shut it down. So shut the window. That's the first one I open when I get there. I make sure that the Velcro on there is shut. And that's pretty much all I do in there. Next thing I do is shut the door and lock it so it doesn't come out while I'm travelling. Then I move along this side. So this is my clothes cupboard, and that hook gets put in there. Not very nice looking hook, but I'm trying to figure that one out. The next one I do is my big pantry. As you can see, it's big and it's heavy. So I've got these two little things down here that go in these little holes here like that. And this is something I came up with myself, so it's not the most wonderful. And this one up the top here, and now that one is closed, ready for travel. Then I come along to this side in the kitchen. Make sure the kitchen window is closed. Then I come up to this cupboard here, because this is the one that has most of my heavier crockery items in it, and I've got another one of those little things that go in there. I pick up my water bottle because that's beside my bed, and I put it in the sink. Then I come and get my jug and put that in the sink too, and that's pretty much that, but it's shut down. Everything else is on these sticky things that make things hard to move. I come to the stove and put the cover down like so. The next thing I do is come to the fridge and put these little hooks onto the fridge. Again, not a very elegant solution, but it's something I'm working on. I come down here, make sure that the Velcro holding that is closed as well. Come along here, then I come down and check that those two catches are on, because those stairs are really heavy. There's a catch there on the bed, and there's also a catch down there on the bed. I put my footstool come table under its little thing there, and this falls down when I'm travelling, so I just put it over here like so. And the only other thing I do inside is for the back window, I put my sunscreen down. And the reason I do that is because I don't actually want people seeing what is happening inside my tiny house when I'm travelling. Because sometimes I've got in here and boy, there can be a huge mess. My laptop's already stored for travelling, so it's onto more of that black stuff. My iPad's down there charging, and this is where my keys are, down here. So I just grab them. And then last, I grab my handbag. Now we'll go outside. The steps are still out, and the door's open. So of course the first thing I do is shut the door. The first lock on the door is down the bottom here. The second lock is up here. So that's the one that I have a key for. Oh, I've got a key for both of them really, but... And the next thing is putting the steps up. Now I haven't figured out how to show you how to do the steps without me on the camera. So I'm just going to have to put them up, folks. The steps are folded up, as you can see. So yeah, I've just got a very simple hook system just to hold them in place while I'm travelling. Believe it or not, that works really well. Normally at this time I'd put my bike on the front, but I couldn't figure out how to do that while holding a phone, so I decided it would go on already. So I just have a quick look around the truck as I'm walking, just to make sure all the windows are closed, a second check that the lockers have got their locks on them, the bike's on there, there's nothing I need to do with the bike. Have a look on this side, because there's another locker there, so I just have to make sure that one's shut. And that's it. I get in and drive away. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel, because there'll be more up soon. Hey guys, welcome back to Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels. I'm trying something a little bit different this week. My son informed me that people would like to see a little bit more of me on these videos, because it's not just my lifestyle that they're interested in. So here I am in all my glory. I'm just an average everyday person doing things just a little bit differently than other people, but it's the lifestyle that I really love. Now, please excuse if any time during this video you hear a few clanks and bangs that maybe shouldn't be there, but it's a really windy day here. I've also got a neighbour who has got quite a screechy voice and uses it quite loudly. So my apologies if they make it through to the video. I'll try my hardest to keep them out. Here is a video I've made of the 10 things that I've broken in my tiny house so far. There's more than 10 things I've broken, because when you live in a tiny house that travels around, then things do get broken. So I'm hoping that these ones are things that you might like, and I hope you like some of the new ways of editing that I'm finding, which I'm really enjoying doing. So sit back and enjoy the 10 things I've broken. Sometimes I haven't actually fixed them. Thanks, guys. One of the first places I went to when I moved into my tiny house trucks was Kiriwhakapapa Beach. But see that fence there? If you haven't got a backing camera in yet and you back up and hit the fence, that's what you do to your truck. Some of you may recognise this photo from another video I did, but my bike used to get stored in the truck when I was travelling. Getting it up and down those steps through the door made a real mess of the cedar outline to the door, and while travelling it made a mess on the floor, neither of which I've been able to fix yet. I've had several crockery sets in my truck, but unfortunately they have all managed to get themselves broken in one way or another. This is the damage that got done to the bench when the crockery has fallen out and landed on my lovely bamboo bench. It did, however, allow me to buy a whole new set of crockery. Made the bad mistake of not latching my pantry. When I came back it was a bit of a mess. When we put it back together there were a few bits that I couldn't figure out how they went back in, so now it doesn't actually stay closed very well. So I put this little thing in here like this, and it helps it stop opening all the time. This is the cab of my truck, otherwise known as my shed, and you can see I store a lot of stuff in there. I nowadays put a blanket there, but before I put the blanket, there was quite a bit of damage done, which I'm hoping my friend Raoul can fix for me. Not latching things when travelling is one of the biggest mistakes that I make. This mess here was when I forgot to latch it, and it's come right through and pulled everything out and made a real mess. And again, not latching the bed right from the very first time I actually drove the truck. Stopped to show my mum and my stepdad, and forgot to latch the bed. A lot of that stuff got fixed, thank goodness. This picture I did not attach to the wall properly, so it fell off and broke the glass. This latch I actually pulled out completely because I kept using the door to pull myself up the steps. As you can see, it's not sitting in there very well. I have tried to fix it, but I didn't do a very good job. Need to have another go at that one. And last but not least is my lovely chimney, which I tried to force under some trees and it did that. But luckily, according to the lovely Raoul, it has got a lifetime warranty and he is going to fix it for me next time I am over his way. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon. Hey everyone, welcome back to Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels. A few days ago I saw a video on YouTube about a woman in America who lives in a tiny house, and she was telling me the 10 things she hates about living in a tiny house that nobody ever told you. So I thought I would go through some of the downsides of living in my tiny house truck that travels. But I've done mine a little bit differently because I'm a bit of an optimist. So I hope you enjoy it. Yes, sometimes your bike gets stolen, but that's what insurance is for. And sometimes the glass gets broken in your beautiful pictures, but they're still beautiful. And I know this looks like a beautiful parking spot, but by 9 PM that night I was blocked in so much I couldn't actually move the truck. But sometimes those people that park next to you, like Lynn and Christine and Vicky, become your forever friends. Finding firewood that fits in my lovely little flick fireplace is really hard sometimes, but boy, it's well worth it when that fire's going, keeping me warm in winter. One of the things my builder neglected to let me know was that every 3 to 6 months I would need to repaint all that beautiful cedar around my windows, but when they look that cool, honestly, it's not like I've got a lot of other things to do in my life. Laundry is always a pain. In winter I have to go to a laundromat, but in summer I get to hang my washing up in beautiful places such as this in Tokomaru Bay. Yes, I've had a lot of breakages. This is all that's left of 3 different sets of crockery. But then I get to go out and buy some pretty new ones. Yay! There's funny places to clean in a tiny house. But it's fun, and I don't have to do it very often. Even though sometimes it looks as bad as that when I've come from a shopping spree. But boy, look how gorgeous it looks when it's all clean and tidy. Sometimes tradesmen are really hard to find, and we've got to do the work wherever we can. This is Dylan building my lockers. Didn't he do a great job? And sometimes you meet forever friends on the road when they're fixing things. This is Raoul. And honestly, when you're parked at a place like this, yep, that's where they did all of that work. Sometimes on a gravel road your window looks like that. Then you have to get out and clean the bloomin' thing. But once you've cleaned that beautiful back window, look at the views. So here are some wonderful views just to finish off this video. All in all, I wouldn't give up this life for anything. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon. Hey everyone, welcome back to Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels. This week we're having a look at how to pull the single bed down. Now I've taken out the sound from the background because honestly it was just all clunks and clanks and shuffle this and shuffle that, so it's just me talking, sorry folks. So the first thing I'm doing is getting rid of all the pillows, and I'm putting the support leg down that holds the footer of the bed. So you've got different qualities of video here too as well, sorry folks. I did some on my phone and some on my laptop so that I could get both ends. So I don't like the amount of cords that are up in that space, so I just tuck them away nicely into this little baggie. That fan that I'm taking down there is, during winter, the little flick fireplace sends all my heat up to the ceiling because it's already up on the raised section, and that fan basically sends the heat down where it belongs. So you can see that I've got my thumb up on the release lever of the pulley because I'm actually not tall enough to get the rope in the angle it needs to go, so I just have to stand up there and do that. So at a certain stage you have to go down the other end and just make sure that that leg is going down into the right spot because it doesn't work very well otherwise. See the lovely Mangatainoka river in the background there. So this is that little bookshelf, and you could see the little hole there, and it's got corresponding lugs on the bottom of the bed, and once they fit in like that, you can give it a good shake and it doesn't move around. That's basically the bed down. Just showing you the pulley system there. That's what it looks like up inside. So that's what the two beds look like when both of them are out. You can see that one goes underneath the other one. And now it's just a case of pulling it up again. Doesn't take a heck of a lot of energy. I'm not particularly strong and I can do it. Just a wee break there to go and put the leg up on the foot end of the bed. As you can see, I've been there and done it up. It just very nicely goes into that space. One last heave just to make sure it's completely in. And now I just coil that rope up, and as you can see there's quite a bit of it and it just gets really messy. But it's a pretty simple process really. Not really that much to it. Just put all those cords back into that little baggie there. make it all nice and pretty again. It's just to tidy it up a little bit. As you can see, it looks a lot nicer like that. And that's the bed all the way. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon. Welcome back to Jude's Tiny House Truck Travels. Yesterday I was undertaking one of my monthly maintenance tasks on my off-grid system when I realised that I hadn't given you guys any information about the off-grid system at all. So I thought I'd do a little bit of a video on it. I hope you enjoy it. So this is one of the hatches that I've got underneath my false floor in the kitchen. And it holds all the paraphernalia that makes the electrical system go. So the first of these is the solar controller. So basically it takes the energy that's coming through the solar panels that are up on the roof, which I'll show you a bit later. This here is the inverter. So basically the whole house is on 240 volts and that's what converts everything. That there is the converter that takes energy from the truck and puts it into the batteries. And when I'm plugged it into power, that charger there charges up the batteries as well. And that little thing there is a Bluetooth device that hooks up to my phone, so I've got a little app that it will tell me how my batteries are doing. And speaking of batteries, there they are hiding under here, very dirty as you can see. So that's one of my monthly tasks. I have to check the water in those. I started out with 2 solar panels on the roof but added another one, so now I've got about 800 watts up there. And I'd like to thank the Living Big in a Tiny House, Russa and Bryce, for that drone shot. This plug is for when I want to plug into 240 volt. Doesn't happen very often. And when I do, I just switch that switch over and the whole house goes through the power grid. So another part of my off-grid system is what to do with the grey water and the toilet waste. In New Zealand we can't put our grey water onto the ground when we're out camping. So this is a cool setup that I've got underneath that a wonderful guy in Wanganui did for me. So these 2 tanks here are both grey water tanks. And you can see there's a pipe in between there joining them up. And this one at the end here is the black water tank. So this is where all the waste from the toilet goes. So I've got a quite ingenious system. So there's a gate there, what they call a gate, and another gate there. So the pipe hooks up there and goes into a dump station. Public dump stations, we've got them all around New Zealand. And then I pull that lever there out, which I won't do now, and it empties the black tank. When the black tank's empty, I then pull that gate out. So if I pull that, it opens that gate there. And then the grey water goes through the black tank and helps clean it out a bit. So that's what I do with my grey and black waste. Once a week, there's about 200 litres of storage in there. About once a week I have to go and empty those out. Freshwater storage is underneath the truck. So there's one tank there, and behind there's another tank. So between the 2 of those tanks there's 200 litres, and he's done it that way for weight distribution, so they haven't got all the weight from the water in one particular place. There's a lot of thinking went behind how he placed everything underneath. And the other thing that makes this tiny house off-grid are the gas bottles. So there you have the gas hookup system in there. There's a spare bottle and on the other side there as well. So the gas only runs my stove and my shower, getting my hot water. So I probably go through one of those every 4 months maybe. It costs about $30 to fill it. So that's a pretty cheap way of living. Up above the cab, underneath that cowling there, it's a bit hard to see, but that is my continuous hot water supply. And that's supposedly where I get my hot water. But unfortunately, because it takes so long for the water to come all the way down those pipes, go all the way under and then back up again, the only time I use that hot water system is when I have a shower in the morning. Heating in my tiny house is done through this wonderful piece of equipment here. It's called a little flick. It's made by an amazing guy in Taupō, and he's put a lot of thought into how he makes them, because there's not one single weld on the outside of that fireplace. Unfortunately, I can't show you the inside of it because I've got stuff in there waiting to get burnt. Unfortunately, these are not sent out of the country, but if you're in New Zealand and want to know more about them, I can put you in touch with the maker. So flick me through a message and I will let you know all about it. And that's the wood box where I store all my wood. All my cooking is done through the gas hob and oven. Way too big for just me, but at the time I'd run out of money, so I was trying to buy things from commercial stores where I could put things onto a finance card. So that's why I ended up with an oven from Noel Lemon. And of course my fridge is just a normal Samsung household fridge. It's the smallest of the digital inverter type of fridge that I could get. Again, it's too big for me, but when you've got all this space, why not? And it just runs through the 240 volt system. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please make sure to share with all your friends and subscribe to the channel because there'll be more up soon.